Peace and love, YouTube. It's your boy Soul Asher. I just wanted to give you guys some information and let you know how hype I am. Thank you, Pearl Abyss, for dropping Mystic with Shy, because I was going to be so sad if you only dropped Shy. But Mystic has been a class that I've been personally waiting for since really the launch of BDO. I had always planned to play Mystic, so I am now going to have 3 characters that I will be playing simultaneously. That will be Tamer, Wizard, and Mystic, and they will all be above 530 gear score, believe that. But they will all be very viable in PvP. I will be maining PvE on my Wizard. But anyway, not getting too much into that, I do want to kind of touch on the benefits of each class. Mystic, I feel as though, is going to be the top tier PvP class for BDO PS4. It's going to make a lot of people regret rolling Striker, and I can say that for a fact. Just because Mystic is so much more evasive. Striker has a bit more burst with their clones, but Mystic overall has more survivability, as well as a lot of crowd control and survivability, man. Mystic is just amazing class when built properly. Even if you go AP Monkey, you still have so much survivability with your blocks. As well as Shy. Shy is going to be a game changer as well. DP Shies are pretty much going to rule the PvP scene. If one opposing team does not have a DP Shy and the other team does, it's going to be severely imbalanced if that Shy is geared properly. That being said, obviously gear always comes into play, but these 2 classes are top tier classes for BDO, period. And for BDO PS4, with the lack of mobility, these classes are going to have a huge advantage because of their skill set. That being said, if you have not yet decided on a class in BDO, I would definitely take a look at Mystic or Shy. Shy is going to be more support. You can go AP for PvE, but the Shies are going to be very, very essential in any PvP toolkit or any PvP team. Mystic as well. They're just god tier classes, man. My goal for my Mystic is going to be going AP evasion. My goal is to never get hit while doing a decent amount of damage. I'm going to be going for the best in slot evasion gear, small amount of DP, but mostly AP evasion. Now, outside of those classes, I do want to actually touch on the Dark Rifts. Now, Dark Rifts are going to be a way in which you can generate a very, very, very good amount of silver without a lot of effort. Now, if you are a low gear scored player, you're going to want to save your rifts until they reach the lowest rank. Once the rifts reach their lowest rank, the tier 1 rank, the difficulty actually decreases, but the drops do not change. I'm actually going to bring up a guide here to give you a little bit more information on the Dark Rifts. I'll also drop the link in the description. The guide is mentioned, or it's written by Grumpy via grumpygreen.cricket. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Alright, so here's the Dark Rift guide on Grumpy Green. And essentially, like I said, it gives the highlights here. You're supposed to be level 56 before you can do these rifts. You're going to want to go through this guide and try and get as much information about these as possible. But I'm just going to do a quick overview. And like I said, level 56. If you're lower level, you want to stack them until they reach tier 1. It kind of touches on the difficulties here. You get the same loot no matter what, again, but there are different loot tables per boss, and each of these different loot tables per boss also contains different chests, and these chests all have different loot tables within themselves. The very hard, the hards, and normals, they all have different boxes: box of the silent dead, box of the distorted dead, and box of the desperate dead. All of your rifts, in my opinion, are going to be worth doing as long as you have the time to do them. That being said, if you're a limited time, you can stack up to 10 of these a week and save them and then do them all at once. The main thing that's going to be generating your income out of these boxes is going to be the accessories. ogre's rings, Bassie's belts, crescent rings. But if you're gearing up and you're a new player, you're gonna want the memory fragments, the blackstones as well. Essentially, almost everything out of these boxes is just, it's gonna be essential to your progression in BDO, and I believe this is going to be the event that is going to tremendously tank the prices of the accessories in the marketplace. That being said, I would save your money right now in BDO. I would not be buying any accessories or I would be selling my accessories if I had a lot. But I would be waiting to use any of my money on accessories currently, so that the prices will have a chance to drop once these events start. People might be able to make a good amount of money off selling their accessories once the event starts, but about 24 to 48 hours into this event, you're gonna see the prices of accessories start to drop as they start flooding the market. That being said, you can also build boss gear by collecting the auras, trading in the Dark Spirit's Greed for the auras. There's certain NPCs in each main city that you can trade these in. As far as combat tactics, these are going to be bosses, so they're going to spawn ads. I think the ads you have to somewhat watch out for, but if you die from the boss, you don't actually lose anything. You don't lose any like actual crystals or anything or EXP like that. But you're still going to want to actually prepare properly for these bosses. Bring HP pots. Actually learn their attack patterns. If you get close to dying and you're low geared, you can always just reset the boss. The HP will stay at the same place, and obviously you always want to make sure you have the perfect food rotation, buffs, elixirs, etc. That I always tell my guild, doesn't matter what you're doing, make sure you're fully buffed. That being said, you cannot be attacked in PvP while you are doing these bosses. It is PvE only. You will be brought technically into your own little instance, your own little PvE instance, but you want to defeat these bosses as soon as possible. So in order to do that, you're going to want to be fully buffed. There's a couple different bosses, and you're going to have to learn each of these rotations. I personally am not 100% sure if we're going to get every single one. I would assume that we would get the good majority, if not all of them. I would assume we get all of them, but some of these are event bosses, so there's no guarantee. The locations of the bosses are going to be within the game. You can actually navigate to the bosses just by clicking on the actual it's going to be basically a Black Spirit quest, and it's also going to have its own UI. You gain the Dark Rifts through the Black Spirit quest. Once you gain access to the Dark Rifts is going to have its own UI, and you can utilize that UI in order to navigate as well as activate the quests. Again, this is going to be a great silver grind. I'm personally I'm going to run a few at the start just to make a quick amount of money, but then I'm going to start saving them and stacking them on my characters so that I can run them all at the same time. Obviously, I'm going to be saving for the auras. That way, the advice of Valks is okay, but I think personally the auras over time is going to be the most beneficial. Just so you can get that Zarka, that Nuver, or that Dandelion. It's basically a guaranteed Dandelion if you're just collecting these. It's another way to generate auras. So these Dark Rifts are definitely going to be game changing. I feel as though I've given you enough information on them. Like I said, I'm going to drop the link to this. I'm also going to drop a quick Mystic guide and a quick Shy guide. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section below. Peace and love. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you next video.